Hello. I don't know how to... I didn't really have a plan to open this video. So, hello. It's time to answer all the questions that you guys posted. So, I'm going to go through them basically in the order that they were posted in. I know one way to do it. You go like newest first, and you scroll down to the very bottom of the video, and then you go from the bottom up, etc, etc. There's not much else to say at this point, so other than getting into it. So the first question is from James Butterworth, who asks, favorite video you uploaded? Well, the answer to that would clearly have to be an old unlisted video from a few years ago called MML Losers, where he tweeted out saying like, I reckon I can get my next scripted video out before Scott posts a video. And then I posted that MML Losers video right after seeing that tweet. Yeah, just be like, haha, here's a video, because he didn't say scripted video. I was just like, he just said video. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just post a video, and what you deal with the consequences. We're MML losers. If you want a slightly more real answer, probably, I mean, it's gotta be the Banjo-Kazooie retrospective at the end of the day. I do have a high regard for Banjo-Tooie's and Metroidvania, because I think it was decently argued, and I think it's a point that I still stand by to this day. But I do think the retrospective probably it's a long video I'm really proud of, and the great thing about it is that, like, well, I mean, although it's kind of, I guess, past its prime, as in it's technically dated now because of the Switch version, but I just did a follow-up a few weeks ago in response to the appearance of the kind of like next in response to, well, Banjo-Kazooie coming to Switch, and you know, there's probably going to be more to come when more stuff happens in the franchise. We'll see how we go. Next question, also by James Butterworth. YouTuber you'd most like to do a collab with? I mean, aside from people I've already collabed with, imagine pulling out more Banjo-Kazooie stuff this soon into the video. How long have I been recording for? Like, what? Not even 5 minutes I'm talking about Banjo-Kazooie more. Like, because, like, I mean, I'd love to do something Banjo-Kazooie related with Josh Jepson. That would sound awesome. But I do think, though, that the best way to approach a collab video is probably to think of the topic first and then think about who you do it with, or, you know, like a collab that might need to exist. Rather than going after a person and then trying to come up with something to do, with something to do with that person. It creates a more natural approach to it, rather than, you know, trying to go after the person first, thinking about the person first, and then thinking of something to do with them after that. Yeah. Next one is Viscid Justique, saying, wow, 10 years, amazing, congrats. Oh, thank you. And, where the any YouTubers who inspired you? I would presume that's typoed from, who are the YouTubers, are there any YouTubers who inspired you? Or something like that. I mean, yes. Like, it kind of depends on which part of my YouTubing or which part of hat wearing gaming you're thinking of specifically. If you're thinking at the very beginning where I started with Let's Play projects, it will probably be a mix of Chugga Conroy and Paddy, formerly Peacock44444. Those two guys, huge influences on me. Especially like Peacock. He was he was posting videos he was posting like really funny stuff at the time where I needed it. In terms of the transition, Matthew Matosis played a huge role in that. I wanted to kind of do stuff that, you know, was sort of similar to what he was doing. And what's more was that a lot of, like, you know, the comments I would make during Let's Plays, I could still apply them to the analysis content, and it'd be so much more quicker and distinct, and it'd be more meaningful to actually say them. Like, even if it's a, I bumped my microphone. Even if it's a dumb joke, it's still more meaningful. You can still make a point out of it, even if you're using comedy. Next, do you actually like Vegemite? Oh, this is Giant Jigglypuff. Do you actually like Vegemite, or do you say you enjoy it for the meme? Well, I don't. I don't just say I enjoy it for the meme. Yeah. That's all there is to it. Daniel Hart asks, "What is your favorite video game of all time?" Banjo-Kazooie. I can't stop harping on about it. Nate D asks, "One video you'd love to make but feel you can't. And congrats on your 10th anniversary." Thank you. I guess, like, one thing, yeah, I don't know if this microphone's too close to me. See, I don't know if I necessarily want to make this kind of content, but one thing that I've always kind of considered myself ill-equipped. You're gonna shut up now, Discord. One thing I've always considered myself somewhat ill-equipped to handle is probably Zelda. I don't feel I can do Zelda justice, because I'm really bad when it comes to, like, analyzing story and story beats and whatnot. See, like, I can interact very well with, you know, gameplay and what I enjoy in gameplay, but story is just, like, I'm really bad at that stuff. So, it's, when it comes to Zelda, I feel like I have to talk about a lot of story elements to that. I know I'm saying that as someone who has done a full analysis series of RPGs and is doing another currently. But, you know, Mario games are not that complex. It's Mario, for goodness sake. But like, with Zelda, I just wouldn't know what kind of angle to take on it. So probably Zelda, like, any videos about Zelda games. Of course, I say that knowing that I've already done one about Zelda, but that's a bit of a different beast entirely, a different can of worms. But generally speaking, like I don't think I could, like, even if it's just something simple like, oh, Ocarina of Time retrospective, I don't think I could pull it off. Maybe A Link to the Past, though, where story is a bit more secondary, but, like, you know, it's still there. Or even Zelda 1, I mean, I already kind of have, but, like, you know, I really don't think I could handle a lot of Zelda content. That's one thing I don't think I'd be able to do. Nate D asks, one video you'd love to make... Oh wait, sorry, I already did that one. MML's Commentaries asks, who won the Game of Heroes Super Mario 3D World Race? You don't remember? You forgot. But if there's one thing I do remember, though, Matt, is that it wasn't you. I beat you, for goodness sake. For context, the Game of Heroes was a collab race channel. Myself and two other guys did between, like, 2013 and 2016. I haven't really talked about it since, like, about early-ish 2016. And that's also kind of like the time when the last video that was uploaded to it went up. We had plans to just stop it anyway, but we didn't finish it. We ended up not even bothering to finish what we did. The races, and one of the last projects we were doing that wasn't actually finished. Well, we finished recording it, but it never got around to finishing uploading, was Super Mario 3D World, and we had a guest, which was MML's commentaries. The winner, if I recall correctly, was it was actually neither of us. Neither myself nor Matt. It was Zoomzyke. He was one of the guys. Him and formerly Grandstar Yoshi, now Indie PC TV. He it was the four of us who were it was the three of us, like Zoomzyke, Indie PC TV, and myself doing the channel. And MML was a guest for one race, being Super Mario 3D World. And Zoomzyke was the one that won the Super Mario 3D World race, quite surprisingly. I was really hoping I could pull it off, but it wasn't. But I couldn't do it. I even practiced a whole bunch the last segments of the game before we recorded them, but I still couldn't pull it off, sadly. It was very disappointing. But I still beat you, Matt. I still beat you. And I loved it. After you were like, yeah, I'm gonna win. You came third out of 4. And the only reason you beat the 4th one was because he gave up and started playing Donkey Kong 64, if I recall correctly. I low-key wish those videos got made. Maybe I should ask Zach to do it. Probably doesn't even have the footage anymore. I don't think I do. Actually, no, I do, because I kept them all in case I want to do videos on Super Mario 3D World later. Anyway. Benson Burner asked, what advice would you have for someone wanting to get a start on YouTube? Know what you want to do before you do it. Don't think to yourself, the best attitude before starting a YouTube channel is know what you want to do, or kind of purpose yourself on the platform first and then go to the platform. Don't think, I want to start a YouTube channel. Now what do I now need to think of something to make videos about. Don't do that. Think, I want to make videos about something, and then go do it. That's the best attitude. Do not, even if you get inspired by other YouTubers doing something, you want to do something similar, that's fine. That works. That's what I did. And that's what most people do. But don't ever go into the platform thinking, don't enter the platform first and then discover what you want to make. Discover what you want to make first and then start making it. That's the best advice I can give, I think, because if you just go in there, if you go into there first thinking of yourself as a YouTuber before, I guess, a content creator, if that makes sense, you're not going to have any direction. You're not going to look like you have a direction for your channel. I guess that's that's kind of like what will happen. So you need to first and foremost know what you want to make, and then the other thing is just do it. Just do it. Don't worry about how people will see it. Everyone's first video is crap. My first video is crap. And probably my second, third, and fourth. But just do it. Don't over-stress about it. Just do it. You just gotta do it. If you don't just do it, you will never do it. Shrek the Ogre asks, what is your favorite hat? I never think about this. I like this cap. I wear it a lot. And by a lot, I mean in the context of hat wearing gamer. The only other headgear I really like to wear is my bike helmet because I like to go bike riding. Otherwise, I don't know. I like a hood. That's not really a hat though. I never understand that question. The Foxman9325 asks, if you could alter Diddy Kong Racing DS in 10 ways, what would you do? Also, it's amazing it's been 10 years. Thank you. Congratulations on 10 years and 3.34k subs. Been watching since 2016. Thank you very much. 10 things about Diddy Kong Racing DS. All right. No annoying touch gimmicks. Not changing music compositions, as in like that. That all like they should have just redone the original music for Treasure Caves and Pirate Lagoon. Like that was good. You should have kept that. Even if you changed one of them, just keep the old tune. So sad that was lost. I never got why they took out freaking Jungle Falls music. Like yeah, it plays in the credits, but I wanna hear it in the race. Yeah, no annoying touch gimmicks. Don't tweak the music compositions. Don't over decorate the lobbies. I think that like some of the lobbies definitely got a little bit over decorated in the DS version that it just really didn't need to be. I'm just also trying to like bear in mind hardware limitations. Pace the intro better. It's like the adventure. I don't know. I'm sure there's like more ways I could think of. This is 10 ways. I'm just like the thing is like when I say like music, touch gimmicks. Better DK Island tracks, like more variety. You know, you got the whole Donkey Kong Country like I made this point in the video about, you know, dressing up the tracks more like the Donkey Kong Country franchise. Yeah, those three super, like at the time, like we didn't have returns at the time of DS, but we had the 3 Super Nintendo games. Like those could have been awesome. Like it could have been awesome to just like, you know, take more advantage of that kind of stuff. Like even if you just like, I mean, yeah, it's DK Island, so yeah, only go from the first game, but you got factories and rails, caves. Caves is a bit mixed because like there's a lot of cave stuff in that game, but still though, like, and like yeah, obviously you get your jungles, Jack. You can keep Thunder Cove, keep that. But like you've got there's other ones that can just be, you know, more decorated. Okay, that's 5 things. Reinstate silver coin challenges. Actually, I'm not sure I want that, because like that's actually something I did praise about the DS remake, because well, one thing I pointed out about it was that by having the balloon touch challenges, you don't just somewhat absent-mindedly play the same 3 track, all the tracks 3 times in one adventure run. You play them twice and in like a decent chunk of time between each other, so that's probably one advantage of keeping the balloon touch challenges. But then again, like it's just another annoying touched gimmick. So it's hard to say. I would say if anything, like, I mean, then again, like, I say, oh, annoyingly play the tracks 3 times, but like, I mean, it's kind of up to you what order you do things in, I guess, really. It's just kind of like if you play them in the quote-unquote most efficient way, which is you just do all of Dino Domain, then Snowflake Mountain, Shepherd Island, and then Dragon Forest, and then I guess Future Funland, just one after the other. That's like, you know, when you know the game the most. But like, you know, when I was a kid playing that for the first time, didn't do it in order. Like, there were so many things I was stuck on at a given time. I mean, it's probably sensible to just like do all the trophy challenges later after you completed the rest of the game. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it without it sounding so repetitive. you just space it out and do it, you know, approach the game a little bit differently. And then that way, you know, one of the Nintendo 64 version's biggest problems in the adventure gets alleviated just by how you approach the game. Like, if you don't want to do a track, then don't do it. Go do another track. Come back to it later. So yeah, maybe reinstating the Silver Coin Challenge is a good idea. I did comment a lot on the music, but I do accept that, you know, the sound card issues, so I'm probably going, like, I mean, well, I did address music a few moments ago, but that was more in the case of remixes, not sound quality. But I'll probably put that to the side, because I don't know how practical it is to actually get the music in the DS version up to the standard audio quality of the Nintendo 64 one. I mean, there is, you know, there's all those rare complications about bringing Banjo back, or, you know, even Conquer. Yak, adult character, or whatever. Damn, I want the Decon Racing come to Nintendo 64. NSO. I'm trying to think of other things. I'm not too sure. I think I've gotten like 7 things listed out. In the custom, the wish tracks, deciding what parts of the tracks get elevated, that would be cool. I'd like that. Maybe even picking the theme as well, so tweaking that stuff, like, and like, yeah, a DK Island version, Future Funland versions, that'd be so good too. I think that's it. 10 ways is it's a very high amount. Like, if you say to me 5 ways, I'd probably have a little bit more trouble. Maybe even 3. But like, 10 is a lot, so I think I'm just gonna have to, I'll just have to leave it there. Moving on, we have Rachel Rosenstengel. Stengel? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. Sorry, Rachel. I'll just call you Rachel. Asks, how do you get about scripting, making, editing, and uploading videos that are at least 30 minutes on a consistent basis? How many projects do you usually have in a single day? You think my upload schedule's consistent? So far, I have a consistency of 1 major upload a year. I guess, you know, when you do that, you work on it for like a minute a day. I would say, like, my upload schedule is anything but consistent. But, I mean... I can talk about... So, I mean, I don't think I script, make, edit, and upload videos, on a consistent basis at all. Oh. I don't necessarily aim to make them over 30 minutes. They only go over 30 minutes if I think they need to be. I try, like, the Metroid video that I'm still making now, that's only like 15, roughly. That's what it's estimated to be, about 15 minutes-ish. Like, you know, it's good to only make videos that are as long as they need to be. Don't make videos longer than they need to be. Don't force it out. Just only talk about what's important, really. So I can talk about how I go about making videos, like scripting, and it's more like just thinking about, like, is there something I want to talk about in the game specifically? Do I want to talk about a game or something specifically? And then just kind of like, sometimes, you know, if you might come up with a thesis and then write to that thesis, but sometimes what I like to do is I just start writing about it and then the thesis just generates itself, because I just want to talk about this one game that I have various thoughts about, and I'm just like, there's probably something here, and then I just do it, and then, oh hey, look, a point. I just kind of go about it, and then it kind of creates itself. There have been a few scripts. There's another script that I've been working on lately that's, I really want to see if I can get this off the ground. I just don't know officially if I will be able to. It's hard to say. but I've got, but like, it's not a bad video game, it's about something else. I just don't know what kind of point I can make with it. That's kind of like where I'm struggling at with this one particular video that I'm thinking of. But like, I mean, I'm just trying to write about it and then see what happens, because this stuff, there's all sorts of things surrounding it, and these are content creators that are still active to this day, even though they hit the height of their popularity about 15 years ago. And everyone remembers them for what happened 15 years ago. But there's all sorts of complications in terms of like figuring out what to do about it. There's also, how many projects do you usually have in a single day? Rarely more than one. It's just, I don't really plan it, I just do it. Like, I wouldn't say my YouTube channel, well, the production of my channel is particularly organized. I just do it. I just go in and just do it, rather than worrying about how it looks or worrying about how I organize it. I just do it, and it just works. And then a fun question: favorite video game series you analyzed? Well, out of two of them, Mario and Luigi, and then Banjo-Kazooie, probably be Banjo-Kazooie, I guess. Again, Mario and Luigi RPG is so good. Hard to say. Because, like, I mean, I could say, oh, favorite game. Well, obviously, Banjo-Kazooie. That's, like, my favorite game of all time. But, between the series, it's a bit more complicated, because, like, I would praise Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, and Dream Team Bros above Nuts and Bolts. That's just what I would do. I'll praise all four of those games ahead of Nuts and Bolts. Like, Paper Jam can just sit down and be quiet. But, I'd praise all four of those games ahead of Nuts and Bolts. But I'd praise Nuts and Bolts ahead of Paper Jam, so I guess, like, even Banjo-Kazooie's weakest link is still stronger than Mario and Luigi's weakest link, so I guess it's gonna be Banjo-Kazooie, really, at the end of the day. And how's Hannah doing? Well, I messaged her, well, when you asked, I just messaged her, she said she's good, so... and between two Hannahs that have actually been on my channel, I'm guessing you're talking about the more recent one. Yeah, that's all there is to it, she just said she's good, so, well, it's like, okay, cool. Next one. Agamemnon. You come to my streams a lot, I still can't pronounce your name. Bring back classic hat for Q&A video. That's my favorite one. Alright. You get it? For one question, I'll bring it back. Oh, it doesn't really fit my head as well as it used to. Look at that, the feathers are all been screwed up completely. It's really dusty as well. I haven't worn it in such a long time. Yeah, here it is. I hope you enjoy it. I hate this thing now. I never really addressed what went on and why I changed it. Yeah. It's just to do with what gets associated with this hat in terms of like some really terrible memes that mock autism. That's why I decided to migrate away from using this hat a lot and just switch to like a basic cap, because I can still be hat wearing gamer but without any like connotation to those memes. That's largely why I made the migration. I did it in, I think, July of 2019-ish. The Banjo-Kazooie reaction to, the reaction to Banjo and Kazooie coming to Smash is the last time I used it. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my cap. Okay. Alright. JJ Binks asks, can I ask a question? Yes. Alex Stilgenboa. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that correctly. 2 questions. Are there any games you would like to cover but decided not to because they don't fit the type of games you typically review? Well, I mean, I did talk about Zelda, about like, you know, not really doing Zelda, but that's just more because of I don't know if I'm equipped to do Zelda. I wouldn't say that like just because something is different to what I've done before. Like, I mean, if I decide, like one day I could decide that I want to do Dark Souls. Like, I don't play Dark Souls because I'm not really interested in Dark Souls, but if I got into Dark Souls and I decided I want to do a video on Dark Souls, I'll just do a video on Dark Souls, even if it's completely out of step with most of the other stuff on my channel. Like, I don't really care. It's just like, I just want to talk about it, so I'll talk about it. Like, I don't really mind if I, like, it, to me, there's this little thing like fit. I just do what I want to do, really. Like, I mean, even earlier, like when I was talking about, you know, some scripting idea for content, for talking about something that I like, where I'm not sure I want to get, where I'm not sure, you know, if I can get this off the ground, you'll find a point to talk about. The thing about that stuff is that that's not even a video game. It's a series of TV shows done by the same people. And like, yeah, and honestly, like, it's even a bit, you know, like in terms of maturity required to watch and enjoy and understand what they're doing. Like, it's like, it's content. The kind of content I'd be discussing is very much not suitable for children, if that makes sense. Unlike all the video games I've analyzed, which have mostly been good for children. I think all of them have been. What's the most highly rated in terms of like age rating game I've discussed? The closest thing I can, well, right off the top of my head, the closest thing I can think of is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But like, even that's not that big a deal. Like, oh, you're dealing with a bit of the spooky themes, or whatever. Like, I mean, there were a lot of people my age who played that as a kid, and for good reason. And second question, are you religious? This is something I've never actually talked about on YouTube. I wear it, I mean, it's in my Twitter bio. But, I mean, in your words, yes. Because, but like, I mean, I hate using the word religious because it's too much of an adjective. It's not a noun. It's not a noun. I would say, yes, I'm a Christian. I believe that we are created by God. I believe that we've sinned, and that, you know, which has caused which is the cause of all the havoc and chaos in the world that we see today. And I also believe that God's action plan, well, because of that, we're deserving of death, but God's action plan is to step into the world himself as Jesus and to live the perfect life that we can't, die the death that we deserve, and rise to new life. Fittingly, I'm recording this at Easter. Like, it's actually Easter Sunday as I'm recording this, so today it's Resurrection Sunday. But yeah, like, I believe all that stuff. I take it very seriously. I know I haven't like talked about it much on my channel. I've dropped a few hints around the place, but I mean, obviously I haven't really talked about it too explicitly. But yes, I'm a Christian believer. I believe it quite seriously. So, Joe Master II asks, congrats on the second decade of the decade of activity, man. Thank you. My question, do you dislike any of your past videos, and if you were to do said video over again, how would you change it? I mean, there are a few videos I probably would like to kind of redo. I mean, there's the Grunty's presentation video, but like that one's, I'm not sure if that one's so much bad. Like, I mean, I it's a bit, but like, I do think though that I kind of touched on it very quickly, or touched on its topic very quickly in the retrospective video when I got to talking about Nuts and Bolts, because it's all about how Grunty's presented Nuts and Bolts and like how badly I think it was pulled off. But I wouldn't I mean, I don't like, I mean, I kind of feel like it was remade in the retrospective where I just touched on it for 5 minutes, and by 5 minutes I mean 30 seconds. but I still touched on it, and I kind of like expressed what my thoughts were on it very briefly. The original video I made just kind of goes into more detail about it. As well, maybe the Dexter's Laboratory Disaster Strikes video, that was a little bit forced. I just kind of wanted to talk about something that I knew that no one else had talked about, and it was just a part of my gaming repertoire, I guess. That's all there really was to it. I don't know how I would change it. Probably not really do it at all, although, like, I mean, with the approach I do the videos today, I don't know how I could do Dexter's Laboratory Disaster Strikes. Like, it kind of worked in 2016 when I made it, but I don't know how I would actually do it today. It's really hard for me to say, so I'm honestly not really sure, but I wouldn't mind, but yeah, I kind of don't really like that one. Sal Your Pal Plays Games asks, how much time does it take you to make a 45-minute video? Do you script everything out or just turn the mic on and talk? Super happy for you, man. Thank you. So, do I script it out? Yes, I do script it out. I have an entire, like, Word document written, and, like, you know, when I'm recording, I'm just reading straight off of it. And, like, you know, if I stuff up when I talk, I go back to the beginning of the sentence and restate it and try and make sure I've, like, maintained the correct tone of voice that I want, that kind of, like, vowels leading in from the previous sentence, if that makes sense. So yeah, like, I do script it out, and I don't just, like, turn on the microphone and talk. Otherwise, editing me would really hate recording me. And also, like, I don't know if I'd be able to just, like, pull out a random point just like that before like, I don't know if I'd be able to just, like, pull out the point just by talking about the game, if that makes sense. It's a bit different, like, if I'm being asked a question about a video game, what's your thoughts on this? And, like, you know, there might be a point that I might generate in my head as I'm speaking about it. But, I mean, for a script where there's zero prompting from some other party, yeah, I just have to do it all myself, make it up. Or not make it up, I write it. I do write. And how much time does it take you to make a 45-minute video? Months. Every video's taken me multiple months. Like, I mean, between every one of my scripted videos, there's always been multiple months between them. And, like, you know, it kind of just depends on how busy your life is outside of doing videos. Like, you know, when I'm I'm full-time working right now. And, yeah, I'd be lucky to spend 5 minutes a day making my Metroid video. And I've got a little bit more time now because it's a long weekend, but it's still not necessarily easy to kind of figure out exactly what I'm doing. And, like, sometimes when I'm just, like, I get to a point and, like, I'm like, I know what the next bit of footage I need is, but I don't know where to find it. I don't know what to do about it. I need a break. And then I come back in 3 days. Okay. Reincarnation asks, how long have you been doing YouTube? 14 years. I mean, previous channels. The Foxman again, back from earlier. What are your thoughts on the supposedly fan-made Banjo-Kazooie remakes by the YouTube channel Project Dream? Yeah, I really like those. I really enjoy watching those. Like, you know, just seeing what the levels could be like in today's, like, you know, more modern graphics. I just really, like, I need, you say supposedly, it is fan-made. There's nothing official about it. But yeah, like, I mean, I really like the way they look, and, like, I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome to play something like that, although I think some things might have to be tweaked, like the way trees looked in certain contexts because they have to, because you know a lot of the trees have to be climbable. I do think that there are some points where there's a little, like, I think in maybe Bubble Gloop Swamp. I'd have to re-look at the Bubble Gloop Swamp video, but when I did watch it the first time, I was thinking like, it's just a teensy little bit cluttered with mess. And when I say mess, I don't mean that like what they did was a mess. I'm like, you know, I mean, Bubble Gloop Swamp is just a messy level, as in like, if you walked in it in real life, it would look like an absolute mess because it's a swamp. So it, and like, you know, so there's that realism to it, and it looks amazing. But to play in it, it might be a little bit cluttered. That's just one thought. Every other level I think looks absolutely stunning. Like I've watched the Rusty Bucket Bay one, like what? Maybe 20 times, just because of how good it looks. And like, I especially love that ending shot where the ship is at sea. The Rusty Bucket is at sea. How good was that? The Foxman comes back again. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have a younger brother and an older sister. Brandon Tang asks, game you'd most want a remake of? Well, I don't know. See, like, I want remakes of games that are not that good, or games that could need a lot of tweaking, redesigns, etc. The first thing I can think of is something like maybe Mario Sunshine, but a lot of stuff gets really kind of redone. Like, a lot of the rushed things get changed. But the thing is, I know Nintendo's not going to do something like that. That would be too awesome. You know, a Mario Sunshine remake where you don't have to, like, where you know, the dirty water, the dirty water, the death water mission isn't so tedious to get to. Like, I think you can keep the mission the way it is once you're in the pipe. But after, like, before that, getting to it is just an absolute pain. I don't want that. What else was there? I'm not too sure. I know other games are remakes of. See, like a lot of other games that, like, you know, people often say like they want to make a remake of a game that they love. I don't need a remake of a game I love because I already love it the way it is. I don't want it to get changed. I mean, I'm thinking like Super Metroid, for example. Super Metroid is my favorite game of all time that's had no kind of remake or re-release capacity in it. Like, I mean, aside from like, you know, Virtual Console, but they didn't, or, you know, the NSO, like that didn't change the games at all. But like, I mean, it's my third favorite game of all time. The other two being Banjo-Kazooie and Mario 64. Those are two games. Like, I mean, well, Banjo-Kazooie was ported to Xbox Live Arcade, where there were a few changes made to it, so I kind of like counted that sort of. And then Mario 64 had the DS version. But, you know, Super Metroid has had no remake capacity, no kind of remake in that kind of capacity ever. I think that's fine. I don't think it needs to be changed. The only other things that could be changed in Super Metroid would be like just little quality of life updates, like, you know, not listening to the jingle every time you pick up a freaking missile pack, for goodness sake, and like even those things like tweaked for the randomizer, like, you know, those kind of like little quality of life things have been hacked into the game by fans. That's stuff I. Like that, so that's kind of stuff that like I don't really think needs the full-on remake treatment. Anything else? Like, I mean, even I could say like, oh, Ocarina of Time needs a remake because the story needs to move faster. But that's what happened in the 3DS version, so I like that. See, I don't know. Like, I just want I want. if they're going to remake a game, I want it to be a game that can be fixed in some capacity. Even if it's a good game, I want it to be fixed in some capacity. The first thing I can think of, honestly, is just Mario Sunshine, because so many, there's so many things broken about it, and so many things messy about it, so many things rushed about it. It could really need a nice tune-up. But then again, I do think, though, that, Mario Sunshine is a game that's existed for almost 20 years old. And if it got that treatment, there would be this, I can see how the people would see, like, there's this lost soul element to the game, if that makes sense. Which I think is part of the reason why Nintendo doesn't really change their games much, mainly for, like, re-releases, like Virtual Console stuff. It's because of the soul element of the game, like, but, I mean, then again, like, 16:9, 1080p, 60 frames, and most of that was done 3D All-Stars. I don't know. It's very weird. I don't really know what to think of this. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm gonna move on. JJ Binks, coming back, asks, where can I find your most recent video? Just look. You'll find it. Brandon Teng, coming back, asks, do you have a YouTube channel? I don't know, man. I don't know. John Zena asks, are you ever going to do a Q&A? Look, mate, come back 3 years, I'll do one. David Abbotsmith asks, am I ever going to see your face again? No, you're not. Sorry. Oh, those three. Daniel Hart asks, what would have to be your favorite video game soundtrack? Super Mario Galaxy is one that I've always had a high affinity for, high praise for. I absolutely love the Mario Galaxy soundtrack. Such a good listen. So many good tracks. Except for Gusty Gardens, that was super overrated and I don't really find it very memorable. But a lot of other stuff is just so good to listen to, and it's like, yeah, I know that obviously there's the orchestrated element to it, but Koji Kondo didn't go over the top with it, which I think he kind of did in Galaxy 2. But Galaxy 1, I think he struck a good balance between, making it grand epic, but for video game. If that makes sense. Daniel Hart coming back again. If you could have a remake of any game, well, I've already discussed that earlier. I don't know if my answer was very good. Sleepy Skullhead asks, how many hats do you own? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? But when I say 7, I'm also counting my bike helmet. Arkura1 says, do you like Earthbound or Mother 3 better? And also, what do you think of Mario Odyssey? So, between Earthbound and Mother 3, I haven't actually played Mother 3, so I can't really give an honest answer to it. And honestly, I don't even really like Earthbound that much. That's why I stopped playing it. The only oh my gosh, I couldn't stand Earthbound. It's so, I mean, it was funny. I got a lot of the jokes, and I love that. And when I did play it, I started streaming it on my Twitch. I just got really annoyed at this, so I just stopped. But one thing I did do that I always loved was naming, the favorite thing option that they do at the start of the game. I named it memes. My favorite thing was memes, and then that became my special attack. So it became psychic memes. That was my special attack. That was one thing I absolutely loved about it. I really enjoyed that. The dialogue is funny. I just couldn't stand the RPG element to it. It was just so obnoxious. I just couldn't deal with it anymore, and I got really frustrated also the way warps work, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore, so I stopped. I'm sorry, Raining, but I couldn't handle it. It was too terrible of an experience. I even talked about it during the streams. It's like, I hate this game so much, but the only reason I'm still playing it is because I think it made a good stream, but did not enjoy the game. Whoa, hold on. Slow down here. I just need to interrupt and just address the fact that I didn't actually answer the second half of the question. Sorry, Rainine. What do I think of Mario Odyssey? Well, I certainly enjoyed it from the beginning. It was fun to play, collecting the moons, exploring the levels, platforming and whatnot. But after you beat the final boss, the post-game just keeps going. It's bigger than the base game, which I found just so weird. And there's like you can find darker side as well, but like even that's not really 100%. I don't even know what 100% in that game is anymore. It's like 882 or 999 because you can just buy so many more. It's really weird. I don't get it. And like as well, you can buy the moons. Like what the heck? No. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Like from the beginning, you go through, travel the kingdoms, and solve all the different kingdoms problems. But like after you beat Bowser, it's fun to go back and just keep exploring, try and find the rest of the moons, and maybe even unlock Dark Side or even Darker Side. But after that, it just becomes a boring slog. David Abbotsmith coming back asks, do you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? I'm not answering that. Sorry. I thought you asked another question, but it's not here. Anyway, so that's all the questions on this one. However, there's one thing that I never did. One video that I never followed up on. Because this isn't the first time in recent times where I've summoned you all for a Q&A. Back a few years ago, I summoned you all for a Q&A in early 2019. I just never got around to it. Well, I did get around to recording it, but I didn't really like the way it looked. And I wanted to do it for my anniversary of that year in 2019, when Hatware and Gamer was 7 and there were a few other things going on at the time. But I just never got around to it. Well, no, I never got around to re-recording it because I didn't really like the way it turned out. So I'm going to do it now. So this is like questions from 3 years ago. We have... Some of this stuff is joke stuff. Retro Reviver asking, what is your social security number? But Tish! Okay, moving on. Wario and the Gold Pyramid quoting the video, I think ultimately would be good for the channel. Is that a hint that it says something to do with Smash Ultimate? Well, it was actually me announcing my Patreon, which you should go check out. But it had nothing to do with Smash Ultimate. So Luigi Rito asks, what do you do during your spare time when not working on videos? So, the interesting thing is that at the time my answer would have been different than it is today. Because, well, like, I mean, at the time I was a full-time uni student, so what? Even though I'm not sure that will be my spare time. Like, I mean, I like to go on walks and that stuff. Just be by myself. That's always fun. I'm an introvert. But, I mean, today though, a lot of it is hanging out with my friends. I like, so many other things I've picked up since recording that. So Like, I mean, I've mentioned bike riding. That's something that I picked up since then. That was about mid to late-ish 2020 was when I got into bike riding. I also really got into escape rooms. I never knew how awesome that. I mean, I always did like kind of think before I got into them. I was like, would I really enjoy this? Like, I think I would likely enjoy it. Maybe. There were a few moments where I tried to get in on some, but I just never really got invited to them until I met a bunch of enthusiasts through uni, and we got into them and we loved them so much. I've done like maybe 20 or so escape rooms in the past 2 and a bit years, which is, you know, fitting time to get into them right when 2020 happened. But like I still managed to get into them and do a whole heap of them in spite of lockdowns. And they've been so much fun to the point where I had to stop myself from doing more of them because they were really eating into my wallet. And yeah, I mean, doing escape rooms, I love doing that escape rooms. And okay, don't laugh, but there is a sport that I got into playing. I'm not really a big sporty person, not really super big on sport, but there is one thing I picked up and I kind of like it. So it's been a bit on and off, but it's a bit more active nowadays because I'm not studying, I'm working full time. So I feel I have more time to do it, which is a bit of casual netball. Don't laugh. But yeah, I mean, I play netball regularly, on a weekly basis. I meet up with my team, we play, we have good fun. It's not like super fierce competition, but it's something that's just a little bit more casual. I just do it to have fun. Like, you know, like my team loses almost every week. Actually, we think we've lost every single week, except for one. No, we've lost every single week. But like, you know, sometimes I just love watching the good, fun little plays that go on. They're so much fun to see. Yeah, it's the little things in life that count, you know. That's what matters, I guess. Tigster 2005 asks, what do you think of the 3DS remakes of Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story? You didn't talk about them all at all in a series talk. So that was a deliberate decision I made very early on when, like, I mean, I did start them before. I did start the series before the Superstar Saga remake was announced, but I didn't. I made the deliberate decision to not address them at all when the Superstar Saga remake was announced. I even announced it on Twitter. I made the deliberate decision. I did suggest that they might come back in the original versus remake, but it was a deliberate decision to not talk about them. What I think of them in general, I mean, Superstar Saga was just Superstar Saga. It is what it is. There are all some things that were annoying about it to me, but it was still the same basic game, which was fine. But there were a lot of other things that were just really annoying about the way they did it. And Bowser's Inside Story, I never even bothered. I didn't even bother picking that one up. So I don't really know. I don't really have many thoughts about it. But I do know, though, what I have been told after my Bowser's Inside Story video went up, I did get some comments saying that the remake actually fixes something that I addressed in it, which was Bowser not having his own BP. SP supply, special points. Bowser not having his own like kind of SP healer, but now he does. It's like some cheese or whatever. I haven't looked in too deeply into that, but I was told that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It actually fixes something that I addressed and complained about. So I guess that's good. I don't really know too much else, but I mean, maybe I'll play it one day if someone buys it for me. And Super Mario asks, what's your favorite game on each console you own? Funnily enough, I think I did a tweet about that a a few years ago, although it was after the question was asked. I don't have access to it. That's probably too deep in my history and I don't really want to find it. What's every console I own? The NES, it's Super Mario Bros. 1 is my favorite game there. I prefer it over 2 and 3. Super Nintendo is Super Metroid. And Nintendo 64 is Banjo-Kazooie, obviously. The Game Boy, original Game Boy, probably be Link's Awakening. Game Boy Color would be, I guess, or Zelda Oracle of Ages. Game Boy Advance would be Superstar Saga. GameCube would be Luigi's Mansion. That or Thousand Year Door. Luigi's Mansion, I reckon. It's a bit paced better than Thousand Year Door is. The DS would be Bowser's Inside Story. The Wii is Twilight Princess. 3DS. What is my favorite game? Is it Dream Team Rose? Wait, I've got my 3DS games right there. Or at least all the ones I like the most. Oh, A Link Between Worlds. Ooh. Oh, that's hard. Dream Team or A Link Between Worlds. Actually, I reckon I gotta say A Link Between Worlds, honestly. A Link Between Worlds. What's next? The Wii U. Damn, there's a lot of good stuff on the Wii U. I'd have to almost look at it. Where's Woolly World? But no, I think I'd rather play like Tropical Freeze before Woolly World. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, that game was so good. Oh my goodness, the Wii U has so many good games. I'd have to be a console that sucked. Like, the console sucks, but the games are amazing. I don't want to just like cop out and say, oh, Twilight Princess HD, because it's a remake of my favorite Zelda game. No, I'm not doing that. Damn, this one's hard. The Super Mario Maker, that's really good too. I'm not saying Color Splash. Oh my goodness. I reckon I might have to just end it at Tropical Freeze, because I think that's the best one I can think of. There's a Mario Kart 8 as well, but like that has a whole bunch of other problems with it that were fixed in the Switch version. I think I'm just gonna have to leave Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And the Switch, Breath of the Wild. Oh, actually no. Metroid Dread. It was Breath of the Wild when the question was asked, but now it's Metroid Dread. Yeah. I think that's it for now. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. There's also, like, PC games. What do I have on my PC? Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I think that's probably my favorite game I have on PC. Oh, then again, I've also got Portal 2. Crap. They're both really good games. Nah, I gotta go Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Even though it wasn't originally... Like, I mean, neither of them were originally released for PC. I guess that's it for now. Well, thank you guys all so much for the 10 years of the support. It's been incredible to see. I really appreciate you guys, people sticking around, especially since you've been watching for a long time. I know some people there's some people here who have been, but yeah, like, I really appreciate the fact that you're all still here, and that you're very patient with me making my videos one a year, right? But I mean, if we want to count the follow-up, the Banjo-Kazooie follow-up video as a full-on scripted video, then I mean, sure, let's count that. And, you know, then it could potentially be 2 videos I've uploaded this year, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get Metroid. I'm already up to editing Metroid. I'm not very far into it, but I am up to editing it. So hopefully that one can come out sooner rather than later. I mean, I did have a goal of getting it out before the end of summer. We're well and truly into autumn now. It's April. Maybe I'll get it out before American summer is over. We'll see. But yeah, it's been incredible what's going on and everything that's happened in this last decade. So much stuff has gone on. All the crazy collab groups I've been a part of. I've loved every last one of them. Regardless of whether or not they're still going. Yeah, there's not much else to say apart from I'd like to thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next thing I upload, whatever it is. Take care.